Good evening. I'm Heather Ballas, President of New Mexico First, and I just want to tell you all welcome, and we're so glad that you're with us tonight. Wanted to take a quick moment, if I could, just to say, one, that we are really honored that Senator Bingaman has agreed to let us do this event for him. And I also wanted to give you a few pieces of information about the work of New Mexico First. Most of you know that our organization was established 26 years ago by Senator Bingaman and Senator Domenici. And since that time, our mission has really grown. Many people know us for our statewide town halls in which we engage people in the political process, and that's a really important piece of our work. But we also do very significant work around research on a wide range of issues, and a lot of that information is disseminated online. So I'd like to let you know that we had a whopping 40,000 people visit our website last year, and 15,000 of them downloaded reports on issues ranging from broadband, healthcare reform, water, education, you name it. And we're really pleased that all of that information that we're doing is reaching people that are doing hard work every single day. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that you knew about is that we have a wide range of opportunities for people to be engaged in our work. Over 1,100 folks took part in our deliberations this year, and as I look around the room, I know that a lot of those people are in this room right here tonight, so I thank you for coming out for us. I share some of those numbers with you, not because numbers are the most important thing when we're talking about policy and changing the future of New Mexico, but because I look around this room and I see a number of members and supporters who really invest in our work, and I want to make sure you know that the investments you make absolutely make a difference. So of those 1,100 people that took part in town halls last year, a whole slew of those recommendations went to the legislature and the governor, and 14 of them became law. 14! We're really proud of that. And I want to let you know that those 14, as well as other activities in terms of our advocacy work, we owe a big round of thanks to our implementation co-chairs this year. That was Governor Tony Anaya and Edward Lujan, and they really led the charge on that. So we appreciate their work. Having said all of that, and having said my thank you to all of you, I am going to turn the stage over to people who are far more interesting than me. And the first of those is Sam Donaldson, who is a New Mexico First board member and our moderator tonight. Sam, as many of you know, is a longtime ABC newsman. He likes to think of himself as a Washingtonian, but we all know better. He's a New Mexico boy, and we're really glad that he's tapping into those roots to be with us tonight. Please welcome Sam Donaldson.
Thanks very much, Heather. I appreciate the invitation to come back to New Mexico First. I am a New Mexico native, although I have to be honest. I was born in El Paso, Texas. My mother got up from the farm one morning, said, I'm going to have this one in a hospital, crossed the line, went to the hospital in El Paso. Of course, I'm not the only one whose mother played a dirty trick on him. There was another fine New Mexico lady who did the same thing. She came from a great New Mexico family, went to a hospital in El Paso to give birth to her son. Her name was Bingaman. Oh, Jeff, I've rattled you out, but you can't trust reporters. You know that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. We have a number of honored guests here tonight. I think Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grisham is here. Are you here? That's right. Now, I'd like to introduce everyone else because we have dozens of city, county, and state officials. We're pleased you're all here, but if I introduced you all, we'd be here all night. And the people who want to get into the sauce later on would not be happy. But we're grateful for you being here and for the support of our major sponsors who helped make this evening possible. Our lead sponsor is Freeport McMoran Copper and Gold. McMoran, of course, Copper and Gold. Our statesman sponsors are Intel, Los Alamos National Laboratory, PNM, and Sandia National Laboratories. Over 30 additional sponsors are listed in your program, and New Mexico First is grateful for every one of you. Now, let's turn to the matter at hand. We're here to honor U.S. Senator Jeff Bingaman, who represented this state in Washington for 30 years. Vice President Joe Biden, who served with Senator Bingaman in the United States Senate for most of that time, begins our tribute. Please direct your attention to the screen.
Jeff, I wish I was there with you and Ann. You know, we graduated from law school the same year in '68, opposite ends of the country. I got here early, and you got here pretty early too, but you had the advantage of coming as an attorney general. So from the moment you entered the Senate, the moment you stepped on the floor, you had already built a reputation for incredible integrity. Everyone knew about your work back home, and Ann, you were a power in your own right. You were probably one of the best antitrust lawyers this country's had. I mean, you were in the Clinton administration, so you both you both came and with such reputations, and you lived up to those reputations. And Jeff, the thing that everybody knew about you from the beginning, and I observed from the very beginning, is you had absolute integrity. No one ever doubted that exactly what you said is exactly what you meant, and you'd keep any commitment you made. And I've never seen you bend to any special interest group. I've never seen you bend. But you always, your entire time, you're always courteous and decent to everyone, even people you strongly disagreed with. And it was just a pleasure to serve with you. And I got to tell you, we miss you now. I mean that sincerely. We sorely miss you. I hope you and Ann are enjoying what you're doing now. You're back at Stanford, where you went to law school. You're still focusing on the things that you cared about most, spoke most often about, and were the first to speak about. And at least in my memory in the Senate. This country owes you a lot, Jeff. You're one of the big reasons why our energy future is transforming this country. Your efforts with the Energy Policy Act back in 2005 and the Energy Security Act in 2007 did a great deal to create a renewable energy boom in this country. Not only were you responsible for the historic increase in vehicle fuel economy, but you created the most sweeping, efficient legislation ever put into law. You know, you guys used to always kid me about always quoting Irish poets, and I'm going to do it again. Yeats once wrote, "Don't wait to strike till the iron's hot, but make it hot by striking." That's what you did on energy, renewable energy, sane energy policy. Almost from the time you got here. And that's who you are, Jeff, and that's how you approached your time in the Senate. And the country is a heck of a lot better off for it, not just for you, but also for Ann. And I want you to know that Jill and I wish you and Ann so much happiness and a long future. You deserve it, buddy. You really do. You're one of the classiest people I've ever worked with in the Senate. It's an honor to have been with you, and I wish I could be there to say it personally.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Senator Tom Udall, who is an honorary co-chair of New Mexico First, regrets very much that he cannot be here tonight, but he's also prepared a video message for us and for Senator Bingaman.
Hi everyone, Tom Udall here. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but I'm there with you in spirit, especially when that spirit is bipartisanship. As an honorary co-chair of New Mexico First, I'm pleased to say a few words about my friend, Jeff Bingaman. They told me to keep this under 3 minutes. I'm thinking that's not enough time, but I know Jeff is thinking it's more than enough. For 3 decades in the Senate, Jeff Bingaman served as the example of bipartisanship, always willing to find common ground. Time after time, Jeff was a voice of reason. No grandstanding, just hard work, paying attention to details, reaching across the aisle, and getting things done. He did this through his work on the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, shepherding some of the most important energy and environmental legislation ever passed by Congress. And he always did it on a bipartisan basis, working alongside former Senator Pete Domenici. It didn't matter if Jeff was chairman or ranking member, whether he was in the majority or the minority. What mattered was the work and what was best for New Mexico. I was proud to work with Jeff on the first renewable electricity standard in Congress. He led the Senate bill and I led the House bill, and as always, I learned from his example. Steady, focused, and reasonable. When the Senate looked for solutions, so often it turned to Jeff in areas like health care and education. Thanks to Jeff, we have legislation like the America Competes Act, because he understands that investments in education and technology are crucial for New Mexico's economy and for the future of the country. My dad once said that the measure of someone isn't about winning elections or awards or honors. It's what the people who know you best think about you. For those of us who know Jeff Bingaman, he is the real deal. Jeff, thank you for your leadership, for your friendship, for your always wise counsel, and congratulations on this well-deserved award. To all the honorees tonight, thank you for the work you've done to receive your awards as well. And to Jean, Heather, and all of you at New Mexico First, thank you for keeping the spirit of bipartisanship alive and well.
Senator Martin Heinrich, who took the seat occupied before him by Senator Bingaman, intended to be here tonight. But the Majority Leader, Senator Harry Reid, scheduled a number of votes today on a sort of an unimportant issue to New Mexico, immigration. So Senator Heinrich said he had to stay in Washington. However, if I'm correctly informed, and I had to learn this through the grapevine, we have a video tribute from Senator Heinrich. If that is correct, you see I'm laying it off if it's not correct, please watch the screen.
Because of the ongoing immigration debate in the Senate, I can't be with you in person tonight. But I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share a few words with you. New Mexico First is an outstanding organization, founded and run by outstanding individuals. By engaging with New Mexicans on critical issues, you're helping to create change in our communities and build a brighter future for all of our children. Tonight's event is a tribute to one of New Mexico's greatest leaders in public office. New Mexico is a strong and thriving state because of the tireless service of Senator Jeff Bingaman. During his 30 years in the U.S. Senate, Senator Bingaman was a champion of many of our state's greatest causes. He worked to strengthen our middle class, increase our nation's energy independence, improve education, reform our healthcare system, and preserve New Mexico's natural treasures for our children and grandchildren to enjoy. As chairman of the U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, Senator Bingaman led the fight for the renewable energy tax credit and helped put climate change on the national agenda. And in partnership with Senator Pete Domenici, he wrote the America Competes Act to invest in innovation through research and development and educate future STEM professionals. Senator Bingaman's support for manufacturing and technology innovation programs has made a major difference in the ability of American businesses to develop new technologies, to increase efficiency, and to out-innovate our overseas competitors. He's demonstrated that our ability to strengthen our global competitiveness around the world relies heavily on investing in our children's education to spur their creativity and foster their talents. And he championed the effort to expand advanced placement and defray the cost of exams for low-income students. Jeff Bingaman's advocacy for these policies, and many others that you'll hear about tonight, have not just strengthened our communities, they've inspired a new generation of New Mexico leaders. Jeff, you've put your principles before politics, caring more about achieving results than about who gets the credit, always putting New Mexico first. Your leadership is an example for each of us who are entrusted with the responsibility of public office. Thank you to all the organizers, speakers, awardees, and sponsors for bringing our community together tonight and for the opportunity to address you.